Hello, it's Brigit here. I'm one of the Pilates instructors for Silverfit, and today we are going to work the side body. So the side body, exactly as it sounds. We're going to do some strength work, asymmetrical strength work, and some really lovely stretches for the side body. So as we age, one of the first areas of flexibility that actually kind of goes is is side flexion. So especially around the ribcage. So we're going to work into that area a little bit today just to keep the mobility and to keep the strength and the functionality going. Okay, so we'll start off with a warm up. And I've just realised that my jumper is on inside out. I'm going to take it off. I did a couple of classes earlier today and it just goes back on the way I take it off. Okay, so we're going to start off with our feet hip width apart. So just do a quick sense check. We want to have the hip bones in line with the middle of the knees, in line with the centre of the feet. So we align, okay? And then we're just going to roll the shoulders back and down. And from here, we're just going to hover the body forwards. Try not to lift the heels. And then hover the body backwards and try not to lift the toes. And we'll do that again. Forwards and backwards. Now, if you're feeling quite good here, you can close your eyes. But what we want to avoid is this. Okay, so don't the shoulders kind of holding the tension. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And most of us will have done this little exercise before. Okay, and we're just homing on that. Hold it still now and flutter your eyes open if they were closed. So avoid this. We don't need to grab onto the thighs here. So we're just going to do a variation of that movement. We're going to go from side to side, side to side. And it's subtle, but you want to be feeling a slight engagement in your obliques. And we're not going like that. So you want to keep both feet, even weight distribution on both feet. So you're coming across in one piece. We're not going like that. We're not doing this one. Not now. We're doing, it's like we've got that pull through the body. One piece. And again, if you're good here, if it's coming to you, just close your eyes. So we're just trying to kind of get a relationship with our obliques here. And then we'll come back to centre, flutter the eyes open, and we're going to raise the left arm. So you're raising the left arm, you're going to get a nice stretch through the left-hand side of the body, and then we're going to step the left foot behind and go for this. It's like a banana stretch. Try not to go buckle through the body. You want to keep that length, and also try not to twist and turn the hips. You want to keep the hips facing forwards. What a lovely stretch. And then come back, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So really getting that length, get that length through the body. This spare arm, use it. We want to zap some energy into that arm, so it's not just sort of hanging. We'll do one more on each side. Okay, now if you want a little bit extra, keep your hips facing forwards, just look up towards the ceiling. And the same deal on the other side. Trying to keep your spine lengthened and not twisted. Okay, we're here. Right, so shake yourself out, soften the knees a little bit, and we're going to reach up and swoosh down, and then reach up and hold it on the balls of your feet if you can. Okay, so we just hold that hover, and just make sure that you're not sticking your bum out, so you want to zap those abdominals in, holding that hover, and then keep reaching up, like you're reaching to an overhead bar, and then lower the heels slowly. Hold on to your right wrist, and then just take another side bend. So we want length. We always want to go for the length before the bend, so we're not sort of collapsing. You want to create length, and you'll feel it's a lot more it's a more powerful movement. And we'll swap it over, other wrist, and then length, and then side bend. So we want the body just not to sort of default and plunk around. We want to really work it, make it work, and then swirl out the wrists. Swirl them out the other way. Okay, and we're going to come into some circles. So feet can be a bit wider than hip width. We'll reach up, and then we're going to go for our circles. And we'll do 3 circles in one direction. You can keep them smaller, like so. 3 circles in the other direction. And we're really kind of starting to stretch and mobilise that side body. I think that's 2. And that's 3. Let's have a nice good stretch for luck. And we'll heel toe the feet a little bit wider. And then we're just going to do some side lunges. Side lunges. Now you want to really feel anchored with your feet. You can place your hands on your hips if you prefer. Try not to let that happen where my knee is overshooting the toe. You want to kind of hold back, get these muscles working here. Okay. I quite like to add in the arms, so I'm spiraling the palms up for the leading palm. Okay, and we'll hold it. You might need to reposition your feet a little bit, and then you can place your hand or your forearm on your thigh. We'll try not to kind of dump the weight down. You want to keep this fire. Just really use the strength of your legs. That will feed into the core. You can have a shorter stance if that feels better. So if you're flexible, you're going for a wide stance, just make sure you're not kind of collapsing down on yourself. But, you know, use the strength in your legs. Lift all 10 toes up and then place the toes back so we're not gripping. And then we're here and we're just going to do 3 circles. And then we change direction. And there's the last one there, 3. And then let's go for that powerful stretch. Try not to collapse, so keep it powerful. Keep those bum muscles working. Maybe look underneath your armpit up towards the ceiling. So lots of energy. Over to the other side. Here we are. So I'm really using my legs. It's like you're trying to rip the mat in half. So there's very little weight from the upper body onto the leg. So we're not going like that. You want to keep the, sort of rotate the chest face forwards. Use those bum muscles. Get it set up nicely. Circle. Change direction. So we want to use our powerful muscles so that the joints aren't suffering. We don't want the knee joints or the ankle joints to suffer. Use those big muscle groups to support the weight of the body. And when you go for that stretch there, you want to go for the outer blade of the foot all the way to the fingertips. Try not to collapse. Keep it strong. And then come back. And then you can heel toe the feet back to a hip width. Or you can take a little hop. Okay, just be careful of your knees and your ankles. Okay, and then we'll just pedal it through. So from here, we're going to sit down. Sitting down on the mat. Now I'm going to use the block because my hips are quite tight. So they're not majorly tight. You know, I could probably just about manage sitting on the floor. But it's better if I raise my hips. It's just better. Okay, so we want to find a position that we can sit with a straight spine. So it's the spine is straight but not stiff. So we're not like that, but we're not like that. Okay, so we've got this nice length. And you want to feel like the length of your crown is going up towards the ceiling as the tailbone is dropping down. And we're just going to place our hands here, so just around the knees. And as we exhale, you're going to suck the belly in. We're going to stretch out the spine. And as we inhale, we're here. And as we exhale. So we're doing a sitting cat-cow stretch. And you can use the hands a little bit just to add a bit of a press. A little bit of a push and a little bit of a pull. Okay, just be mindful of if you've got any pain anywhere. We want to avoid that knee pain, and we're going into some swirls for 3, 2, 1. Let's hold the cross of the legs whilst we swirl the other way for 3. And if your legs don't feel good when they're crossed, find another position. 2. And 1, because we don't want to be working through pain like ever. Stamina is fine to test our stamina, it's fine to be a little bit uncomfortable, but you don't want this sort of jarring pain or electrical pain. This is an alternative sitting position. You could even, depending how your knees are, you know, you could swirl sort of from a kneeling position or a standing position. So, you know, find what's right for you. So we're back into this sitting position again, and we're going to bring the legs in front, and then we're just going to come into a V shape, and our hands are here like so, so our hands are just sort of gliding down the sides of the legs. We want to have a nice long waist, and then we're just going to do that. So we're reaching towards the foot, And this is another good one to raise the hips. And if you are, if you're not raising your hips and you're really tight, bend your knees. Or raise your hips and bend your knees if you're really, really, really tight. Okay, and we'll come back to centre here. And then we're just going to bring the right foot in to meet the left thigh. And then your right hand is down on the floor. Now, just be mindful if you've got any wrist problems here, so you don't want to overload the wrists. We're just going to start off with a stretch and then come back. Now, if you like that and you want to go a little bit deeper, you can lift off. You don't actually have to put weight on your wrist, okay? And I say that because you can use your shin and your foot. So you might need to just kind of shuffle. I'm going to get rid of the brick here now. So you can just kind of shuffle your bum back a little bit and then press yourself up. And then we'll just use our leg strength to support it. And then come back down. Okay, be careful of knees. So just read the body, okay? If the body doesn't like anything, the body's the governor. It's like you've got, you know, it will tell you if it doesn't like something. So we're still in this position and we're going to sit nice and tall and we're going to rotate over in that direction. So spirally twist. We don't need to wrench. Non-violence. Okay, so we're here. And then we'll release. Let's do rotate for good measure. And then we'll spring back up and we'll swap it over. Okay, so we've got the other leg extended now. And then we're going to place the left hand down. So your hand's sort of quite close to your bum. We don't want it miles away, it will just be too jarring for the shoulder. We want to press ourselves up. So you inhale and as you exhale, press yourself up, use the breath, or just have a stretch. Okay, you don't have to do the lift off. And then we'll do that again. Okay, you don't need to put any pressure on your wrists. And let's do one more for luck. Okay, so if you've got a body part that's sort of a bit sore, a bit vulnerable, you can often compensate, but we want to be mindful about how we do that. Okay, and then we're going to come here and we'll zap the legs closed and we'll just circle out the wrists and we'll circle out the ankles, change direction, and then I'll meet you on hands and knees. So whilst we're on our hands and knees, we're going to do a cat-cow stretch. So we've got the knees underneath the hips, we've got the wrists underneath the shoulders, and we don't want to collapse. We want to keep really strong. As we exhale, arch the upper back towards the ceiling. As you inhale, ripple through that spine, head up, tail slightly up. Keep your core on and make sure you're not collapsing into your lumbar. Shoulder blades are down. And another exhale. Inhale. Okay, and then back to tabletop position. And we're just going to do a few variations. So cat-cow, but we're circling the back side. Okay, so bum circles and change direction. Come onto your fingertips, tuck your toes under, arch your upper back, and then we just keep you want to feel like you're being hoiked up, and then just reverse your bum back. Lovely stretch for the back there. Walk your hands over to one side. Once you found the position, just walk your hands over to one side, and really nice side body stretch. Walk them over to the other side. And come back to centre. And then we'll just take a little lie down on our front. So we're going to bend the elbows and hover forwards. And when you're here, rest your hands, rest your forehead on your hands and just shake your hips from side to side. And then we're going to do, this is a scorpion stretch, okay? So we're moving our legs like a scorpion. So as you exhale, we're going to take a little pivot over. Okay, now this can be quite a pokey exercise for some of us. We want to get this rotation in the hip, so really opening out. And then if you squeeze your quad as you roll over, you'll feel a really strong sensation in your quad. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Bend the other knee, rolling over. Your pivot point, your fulcrum is here. You don't want the fulcrum in the lower back. Try and keep the knees spiralling up towards the ceiling. You really feel those bum muscles working. And we'll do one more each side. It doesn't matter if you don't come all the way, so you might just want to do a little hint of it. Okay, a little hint is fine. If you want to come a little bit deeper, then you can lift yourself up onto your forearm. Okay, be careful with that. And then we'll do it the other way, and I'm just going to shimmy over so you can see it a little bit better on that side as well. Okay, so where were we? I've confused myself. Okay, I think it's that one. That's it. Okay, and then we're here. So we're on our fronts, and we're going to sit in a child's pose and just stretch that out. So your bum is coming back towards your heels. Now you might want to just try a variation and tuck your toes under. Okay, we'll get a stretch for the fascia of the feet here. If that feels too uncomfortable either on your feet or on your knees, keep to the tops of your feet. And then we're going to come into a kneeling position. So high kneel if you can. Now, if you've got knobbly knees or hurty knees, just pad up, okay? So you can do something like that with your mat, or just put a towel or something underneath your knees. And from here, we're going to, you can just shimmy over to one side of the mat, and we're going to just kick the leg out to the side here. Now, we want to be careful that we're not sort of twisting out of alignment. It's like you're thrusting your hips forward slightly, the butt muscles are on, and we're going to do crucifix arms, and we're using our obliques, okay, so our side abdominals. Inhale, exhale. Now be careful that your outer foot isn't sort of wafting off the floor like that, okay, keep it suckered onto the floor. Only go as far as your range and your body is happy with. You want to feel it obliques and glutes. You don't want to feel it in your hip flexors or your lower back. And we're going to do one more. And when we're here, okay, so we're just here, and minimal weight on the wrist. See if you can just lift your outer leg. Use your bum muscles. Keep those abdominals working. And release. And then we'll just shuffle over to the other side. So if any of this is too strong, you know, really modify it down, because you can build up to it. We build the strength up nice and progressively. Okay, we're in no hurry here. Now again, watch that alignment. We don't want to clunk out of place. A lot of us are very tight in our hip flexors and very tight in our back. So there's a tendency just to sort of twizzle out of place. So we want to use the bum, we want to use the obliques, okay, core and glutes. They're the muscles we need to work on. And then shrug. Ah, release. Lovely. That was so good. I want to do that again. And then we're going to inhale, and then we're going to use those obliques to exhale and bring ourselves back. So we're using our obliques, our glutes, those are the muscles in the core, the centre. But on top of that, you can press with your foot, you can press with your shin, and we can use the arms just to sort of pull ourselves through the air. So it's the whole body thing. Everything's at play here, okay? And then we're just going to hold it here. If this feels all right for you, I like to be on my fingertips when I do this. Some people can go onto the flats of their hands. For me, the floor just feels a bit too far away if I do that. And then, once you're set up, engage the glutes, lift that leg. Lift it, but lengthen it. Lift and lengthen. And bring yourself back. Fabulous. So, we're coming into the mermaid position. I love this position. It's not everyone's favourite, okay? So if you're not happy here, again, try an alternative. Something like this might be fine. Just sort of try an alternative. Maybe lifting your hips and placing your hips on a brick might help as well. And we're going to spread our wings again. And this time we're going to reach. You're reaching, and then bring yourself back. Again, we're on the obliques here. Okay, so reach. Bring yourself back. Okay, we'll do that again. Reach. Can you reach? Can you reach a little bit more? Can you reach a little bit more? Watch that leg isn't starting to float up. Exhale, bring yourself back. Okay, swirl out the arms, shake out the arms. Now this next exercise is it's quite strong. Okay, so just be mindful how you do this. Give you an alternative. However, if you're going to do the full Monty, you place your left hand down, right hand on your opposite knee, and then you're going to lift the outer leg. Now this in itself is quite hard, and you can bring the knee in, and then you're going to press back, squeeze and squeeze the bum, and use those abdominals, and press back. Now the forwards bit isn't where the work is. The work is in the back bit. Press back. So you're not feeling it, there's too much forwards action and not enough rear action. And we'll just do one more. Squeeze. I'm actually shaking from that. And release. Okay, we'll lean back. We'll come over to the mermaid on the other side. And then we're going to do that reaching one. So shrug and release and stretch the arms. And then we're going to inhale as we reach. Again, watch that leg isn't wafting off. Keep it anchored. And then you pull yourself back. So we're using all the body parts. Cooperation. So again with this, just be mindful that you're not overdoing it. So you don't want to underdo it. You don't want to overdo it. We just want to find that challenge. So it's just right, and we're reaching. Can we reach a little bit more? And as you're reaching that way with that arm, use this arm as a sort of cantilever. Okay, inhale, exhale, pull yourself back. And I can just shake out those arms. And then this is the scary one. So when we're lifting that leg, I did say I'd give you an alternative, didn't I? And I will. So your alternative can be to lie on your side and just to push back like that. Okay, so this is harder. So we're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're lifting that leg, and then we'll bring the knee in to start with. This feels quite easy because it is. And then back. And as you press back, that squeeze of the bum there. Now for different bodies, this feels very different, but for just about everyone, it's going to be challenging. And it's the back. So once you get into the rhythm, focus on the back, the pressing back. It's like you've got a sort of a thing behind you that you're trying to press back. And it's that glute work that's powering that. And as you do that, try not to kind of jar in your lower back. We'll hold it there. And then release, and that is really challenging. Okay, so lean back, shake out the legs. We'll come onto our sides, and then we're going to do some circles. So we're going to do some leg circles of differing sizes. Okay, so different circumferences. And I'm just going to put my head on something just to keep my neck nicely aligned, because otherwise the neck can sort of hang down a little bit. And with the lower leg, I'm going to keep it bent, and I'm going to press that lower leg onto the floor, and this creates a nice base. And with my top leg, it's in a straight line down from my body. And I'm pointing my toe, and out of my big toe, I'm firing a laser, okay? And that is my center point. That laser beam is my center point. And I'm now going to circle just tiny little 10 pence piece size circles around that laser and lengthen. So we're not whizzing a million miles an hour, it's slow. We're going to change direction, 10 pence piece size circles. And then change direction again, and now we're on football size circles. So remember that laser beam is in the centre. We don't want to be all in front of us like this, okay? It's straight down, so you want to feel that full spectrum of glute activity. Core muscles are working, press that leg on the floor, change direction, football circles, change direction again, and now we are on beach ball size circles. And if you've forgotten about keeping the leg long, now put it back into action. So we want length in the leg. We don't want a sort of flippy floppy leg. Change direction again. 2, 3, little point energy. 4 and 5 and 6 Zap some energy all the way to the big toe. Draw those abdominals in and up. And then let that go. Give it a shake. Swap over to the other side. So those side muscles here in the glutes, the asymmetric exercises that we do really help you focus as well on your strong side relative to your sort of less strong side. So it's good information for us. We do tend to be dominant on one side. Okay, so we do the other side. We've got this leg, we're pressing it in. The top leg is straight, the toe is pointed, and we've zapped an imaginary laser beam out of that big toe. Now watch you're not flipping through your, or pivoting through your waist. Keep it very, very strong. It's like we've swallowed that pole, and then we're going for the small 10 piece size circles. Remember to breathe. Keep that leg nice and long. Change direction. You can place your hand on your bum if you want. If you can't feel any, if you can't sense work going on in your bum, if you put your hand on the muscles, they'll kick in. Change direction again. We've got football size circles. The hip extension phase of this move, where the leg is going behind the body, this is where that's our golden opportunity. Can't speak with my head down. It's our golden opportunity to really get those muscles engaged. Change direction again. We're in football size circles. Keeping the core muscles working, keeping the waistline muscles on. You don't want your rib cage escaping out the front of you. Change direction again, beach ball. Okay, so the bigger the range, the harder it is to kind of maintain good form, but the more important it is to maintain good form. So this is what we've got to focus on. Change direction again, beach ball size circles. Check out your shoulders not rolling forwards. So if you've got really big shoulders, you might have to raise your hand, or you might need to put your hand somewhere different, because if your arm's like that and you've got really broad shoulders, you'll be rounding the shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. Just hold it still. Zapping that laser beam out of the big toe as you're zipping up. So we've created this opposition. Okay, we've got that trajectory line going through, the energy line, and release. Give yourself a little rub, give yourself a little slap, and then we're going to come over onto our backs, and we're going to do some curls. And we're going to lift one leg at a time, okay? So we're going to have our head in our hands. And we're going to we'll have the spine imprinted. So we're lengthening that spine. Our head is in our hands. And as we exhale, we're going to lengthen that top portion of the spine and just get the length and just start to peel off as you squeeze one knee in. And then inhale, release back down. And as you exhale, do the other side. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Squeeze the knee in, squeeze. Nice effect here. And then release. Now we're alternating. Try to avoid that. Okay, you want to keep good form. Present your sternum up. It's like you've got a fish hook in your bra. Okay, so we're not clunking through the neck. I'm going to do one more each side. Lower on the inhale, lift on the exhale. Again, try to lead with your sternum rather than your elbows. So we don't want this, okay? We want to keep the movement coming from its proper place. Weight of the head and the hands, in, release. Now you're very welcome to do more of those because they do feel effective, okay? So press pause and do more if you want to. We're just going to press on with the stretch. So we're coming into a full body stretch, and with the full body stretch, we want to not overarch the lower back, okay? So I can feel myself arching quite a lot here. So I'm just going to tuck my tailbone ever so slightly. Pressing into your heels is a good way to just really activate the core muscles as well, okay? Otherwise, just be mindful that we're not overarching here. I'm just going to shimmy down the mat a little bit. So from our full body stretch, we're going to do a banana stretch. So you're going to bring your right leg over towards the right of the mat and your left leg will come to join it. And we're not rolling or twisting, okay? So our back body is towards the back of the mat, our front body is facing up, and now we're going to do the same thing with the arms. So the arms also come over to the right side of the mat. This is a lovely, you can just intensify that stretch by grabbing hold of the left wrist and just eking out some more length of anything. Try not to roll or twist. Come back to the centre, and then the same thing on the other side. So your left leg goes over to the left. Try not to roll it or twist it. Your right leg comes to meet the left, and then the arms come over as well. So we're like a banana. If you want to get deeper into that stretch, hold on to your right wrist, lengthen that right arm, maybe lengthen that right leg a bit more. Always trying to kind of keep the hips square so we're not rolling and rocking. Straighten yourself up, tuck one knee in, tuck the other knee in, have a rock from side to side. And we're going to cross the right leg over the left, so we're in our classic number 4 stretch here. You can lift the leg, you can cradle behind the thigh, and just, you can have a static stretch, that's absolutely fine. Or we can have a little rock. Okay, we're on the floor, so if you lose balance, it shouldn't be too disastrous here. Hold it at the top here, last little squeeze, shake out the legs, and then we'll do the other side. Now, when you're crossing one leg over the other, keep that foot flexed. Try not to twist and twizzle the hips. Want to keep the hips square so you're not damaging the lumbar spine area here. Okay, and then we've got this, so we're cradling behind the thigh. Watch out for the neck, so avoid this. Keep the neck long. And either hold that stretch or go for a little rock and a stretch. So this compound exercise is very good to do several things at once, a bit more functional. Okay, and then just give that shake. And now we're going to do scissors. So with the scissors exercise, we can stretch out the hamstrings whilst we're doing an exercise. And we're going to bring our head, neck and shoulders off the floor. Avoid holding directly behind the knee joint. We're like that, and then we're like that, and then we're like that. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and at the top here, we're just going to hold that deeper stretch. And then change it over. Now I'm tighter in this leg than in that leg. I'm pretty tight in that leg, but this is tighter. So I've got to keep more of a bend in that knee. So you don't want to force your leg straight if it doesn't want to do it. Okay, we want to feel the stretch and the heft of the muscle. And then release. Spread your feet nice and wide. Just let your arms flop behind you, and we're just going to windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. And then we're going to roll over onto our hands and knees. So I'll just meet you on hands and knees. And we're going to extend one leg. Now watch out for, I notice myself doing that, watch out for dangling heads. Keep your head nice and nicely positioned, shoulders are strong. Plant back the ball of the foot on the floor, and then we're just going to do a few circles. We're getting a good calf stretch here. You can go forwards and backwards. You can sort of roll from side to side or circles. So we're just kind of mixing it up a little bit just to kind of reach all the bits of the calf there for the stretch. And then we're going to swap it over. So again, notice where your particular tight spots are. And if you do feel that there's anywhere that's really tight, try to kind of work into those areas with respect. Okay, so try not to kind of go to town with stretches if an area is particularly tight, because you could actually do more damage. So a sort of little and often approach is a little bit safer than just trying to kind of hold the ginormous stretch on a very tight body part. Okay, and then we're here. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to jack the hips up. Enjoy that stretch, downward facing dog. If you're tight in your back body, soften the knees. And then we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Let's dangle here for a moment. It's very nice. You can cradle your elbows, have a little sway. And then press your feet down, tuck your tail under and start to roll up, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra. We'll finish at the top with a nice back bend, okay? So we'll just, we do a lot in flexion in life and when we exercise, so we just want to open out that chest. Clasp your hands. If your hands don't reach, just zap energy into your fingertips. Present your sternum forwards. And let that go. Have a stretch. Palms together. Give yourselves a clap. Namaste, everybody. Thank you very much. Side body. See you next time. Thank you.